everybody, it's me, Zombie, and I have a very special guest here.
I'm supposed to say my name now.
Adam! It's almost Halloween, so we're gonna be telling some cosplay and convention horror stories. You guys sent in some really good horror stories that you had this year from your cosplay adventures and convention adventures. You guys sent in some really good stories, so we are about to read them. The scariest 3 horror stories are going to be getting a prize pack today. All the prize packs are the same, but you get some 2mm foam, you get a pack of glue sticks, a chip brush, a paintbrush set, and some weathering colors. Oh, and you also get some googly eyes. Just some stuff that I know you're gonna use, so I'm gonna send them your way as a little consolation prize for going through a really bad experience.
How nice of you.
I mean, you deserve it. We're gonna spice things up a bit. I secretly went out and got you a costume.
And I secretly went out and got you a costume.
We haven't seen the costumes that we got for each other, but the theme was get the worst costume that you can find for the other person.
Do you want to open yours first? I have it hidden back here.
I'm nervous. Oh my god! This is kind of terrifying. This is it's Beast from Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. I love this. I can't wait to put it on. I think the only
thing you're gonna need is to put on some pants.
Yeah, I'll put on some pants. You know what? You tried to do a goof on me, but I think this is a cool costume. So there you go. All right, I'm gonna get your costume, and I can't wait to see you in this.
Is it the Spartan one?
Even better. When you don't hear me say, please, oh baby,
this
don't go.
Awesome.
Let's go try them on.
As old as time, true as it can be.
Can't actually, I don't know if I can actually sit. Oh, it's gonna rip. It's very tight. Okay, come on in, Beast. Have a seat.
Can you see my eye?
This is the most expensive part. You have to keep this part on. Should I read this? You have to put it back on. That was the expensive part of the costume.
Ladies.
The first story is from Kaizex Prod. It was time for the biggest con of the year in my area, and I forgot to get a room with a friend before they'd filled all of their slots. So I took to the cosplay forum since I had luck there in the past. Since I was the last sign up, I got the worst spot. I slept on the bathroom floor with my cosplay jacket as a blanket and towels as a pillow. I was awoken at 4 a.m. to somebody kicking my face to wake me up so they could shower and get an early start. I was miserable and came into my roommates all sharing their rare anime DVDs. I thought it was cool at first until I realized they were all fawning over some adult DVDs and figurines.
Hell
5 of them in a circle. Needless to say, it was a little much for me.
This one is from Alicia. This happened earlier this year at a con in my state. I had spent 2 weeks leading up to the con sewing and working on my new Squirrel Girl costume with a brand new tail. And then it ended up looking amazing, and the new harness for the tail worked much better than my previous one. I participated in the costume contest and almost made it all the way through, but then some punk in line behind me grabbed my tail and snapped it off and half the harness right before I went on stage. Oh no, that really sucks.
Super bummer. The next one is from Danielle Spielvogel. Back in 2007, I was a dorky 7th grader, and my friend group was going to our first convention. My friend's been, yes, thank you. While I'm reading Put the Hat On, the friend had, for some reason, decided to sign a group up for a skit contest. Now, none of us had practiced or rehearsed this skit at all, so when we got on stage, you can only imagine the train wreck that happened. This sounds like a nightmare. We had no idea what we were doing. There were all kinds of audio issues, and at one point I tripped and fell into a pit in the middle of the stage and twisted my ankle.
That sucks.
I still cringe thinking about the crowd of people watching us make fools of ourselves on stage.
Oh no.
The friend that forced us to do the skit, who I was staying with for the weekend, like I mentioned earlier, decided next morning that she didn't want me coming to the con with her anymore. I was so upset that her dad drove me back to my house, even when I told him my parents were out of town and I had no way to get into my house. He left me sitting in front of my house all alone, locked out in the middle of February in the snow. While I used the last few minutes of my prepaid cell to call my grandma to come get me, needless to say, the friendship with that friend and her family didn't last much longer after
that
experience.
Sucks!
Even though my first con experience was hell, I've been to many cons that had way better experiences.
That's good. The next one is from Eugene. Boys love Ghostbusters, so I decided to build a fairly screen-accurate proton pack. My sister-in-law decided she wanted to join me in for the fun, so I built her a pack as well. While we were at Geek Fest, she managed to get the hose that connects to the neutrino wand caught on a side rail and yanked all of the cords out of the electronics in the pack. She didn't want to tell me because she was afraid I was going to hate her, and was able to successfully reattach it after several hours of surgery. Attached is the picture of the carnage.
Nice.
And they look amazing. Do you have a con horror story of your own?
I do. It happened last year. We went to PAX together, and Logitech wanted to just fly us out, tell and say, hey, dress up in your Mass Effect costumes. Grace made a new one, but we had made N7 armor. It was my first costume that I ever made, but I hadn't worn it in a long time, and it didn't fit. When we got to the con, it was okay at first. It took some getting into, but then partway through the first day, the zipper in the back of the suit just snapped.
Oh, that sucks.
And
I remember that.
I was having like a panic attack because it was like the first day and my costume wasn't functioning. But I think our resolution ended up just being covered up with the backpack, which it worked.
Yeah.
And I basically had an open pack, but you couldn't really tell.
Extra airflow, man.
Yeah, man.
That worked out.
But it was like, I was freaking out because I was there for someone, but it ended up being okay.
Adam, I have a surprise for you.
Oh yeah?
I got you a second costume.
Well, I got you a second costume as well.
What? This was totally unplanned and I am so surprised. But we really haven't seen what we got for each other again. I think I'm gonna go.
You're gonna go first?
First,
all right.
This time. I saw this at the store. I was shocked because on the package I actually thought you had like a side gig modeling for this Halloween store, and I was like, I cannot believe that my boyfriend is on this pre-packaged costume.
Oh my god.
I got you a Duck Dynasty costume. Or the off-brand name, Mallard Kingdom. And I also got you like a cool hat. The only thing that the store didn't have was like a duck.
I don't really know how to set this one up. Just open your eyes.
Ah! The works, hot dogs. Nice.
You're a hot dog.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Cool, let's do this.
Hot dog! Hot dog! Hot dog!
Next one is from Graham Elliott. So I live in Ireland, where we have a very small convention throughout the year, which have an incredible atmosphere and unique spin on Comic-Con. So in November of 2015, there was an anime convention called Eartacon. I decided this would be the year I finally cosplayed, so I spent months designing a crescent rose to 3D print and had a friend working the fabric side of it. I spent roughly 600 hours printing all the parts for the crescent rose and made a few alterations before I started gluing and painting. Finally got the crescent rose finished, even managed to make it so I could disassemble it into 3 parts for transport. Nice. I showed it off when the people I'd been communicating with. We were halfway through the photos when I go to lift up the sight just to move it slightly out of the way, when the top of the sight just pops off and falls to the ground, smashing it into pieces. At that moment, I knew it was gone. There was no point crying over spilled milk, but an entire honest alley of the convention where we were let out simultaneous awe, and about 12 people came over and group hugged me and helped me pick up the pieces. That's
Oh, that's really sweet though.
Check this out. Look how sweet that crescent rose looks though.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that thing's awesome, man.
Good job. The next one is from Cinnamon Mate. I was dressed in my Winry Rockbill cosplay from Full Metal Alchemist and was walking around just like any other normal day at a convention. Because the con had more people in it than it should have, we could barely walk in the convention center. In the middle of the afternoon, I was going back to my stand and out of nowhere, a guy kicks my foot. When I looked down, I had no toenail. Oh my god! I never lost a nail in my life, and the first time it happened, it was at a con. The guy didn't even say sorry and just walked away. I was in enormous pain and without my nail.
Next one is from Celia Barassi. It was summer 2013. I got to go for the first time at Japan Expo with my mom, my first con. It was also the first time I cosplayed. I had a pretty dress and a pretty wig on. It was a dream come true. But things didn't go as planned. I chose to walk on stage for the first time in front of like minimum 200 people, but then my wig flew off It just flew off my head without warning and ended up in front of the stage. Everyone was staring and laughing at me. I almost cried. I ran, I grabbed my wig and hid in the toilet for at least an hour. Since this day, I secure wigs with like 1,000 bobby pins. Never again, I say to myself each time I put on a wig.
That really sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
The last story is from Electric Slinky. I'm super into Fallout 4 and recently finished my second cosplay from the game. I finished up a standard leather armor set that I made from scratch to accompany a 111 vault suit. I was super happy with the suit and pretty amazed at the quality of the stretched denim. That was, however, until the morning of the con.
Oh no.
A buddy of mine was giving me a ride as we were both attending. About 10 minutes out, I looked down to check my phone and realized, dun dun dun, there's a split in the crotch of my brand new, never worn jumpsuit. You had that experience too, right?
Yeah, the crotch on those are not great.
Yeah.
I have to reinforce it.
My buddy, concerned, asked, "What's up, man?" To which I responded, "There's a hole in my crotch," which led with laughter and amusement on my friend's part. Almost at the con, I'm suddenly aware there's a slight drive and a cooler feeling down below. Unfortunately, the day was okay. Fortunately, the day was okay as we only spent about 3 hours at the con, and nobody but my friend knew about it, and apparently it wasn't noticeable. The jumpsuit is on the repair list, and the first thing to get hit with the new sewing machine as soon as I get to it.
That sucks, having a hole in your crotch. It's like the worst place.
Yeah, dude.
I have a cosplay horror story.
Let's hear it.
It was a long time ago. It's probably like my second convention ever, and I roomed with some people that I didn't know very well. Got there, and the weekend went pretty okay until on Saturday morning, I woke up and was looking for my bag, like getting dressed for the day, and I noticed that all of my underwear were gone. I went into the bathroom, and on the bathroom floor were all of my underwear, and they had been like worn and then just thrown on the bathroom floor, and it was obvious that like someone else had worn them. I was like, oh my god, like who went through my stuff and took my underwear and wore them? I was rooming with all chicks. I figured out who did it, and that same person during the weekend deadbolted the hotel room so no one else could get in while she spent a long time with a dude in our hotel room.
Nice.
And given we were sharing the bed, so it was like just super uncool. So yeah, that was the time that someone stole my underwear at a con.
Gross. So what are your favorites? Or what do you think are the worst horror stories that were told here?
So I think Squirrel Girl, who got her tail ripped off of her harness right when she was about to go on stage for the cosplay contest. The girl who lost her wig, that sucks. The person who got stuck outside in the snow, that is just terrible and no fun at all. Yep. So you three didn't go through those terrible experiences for nothing. I will be sending you each a prize pack, and you can hopefully make something really cool with it. Those were our cosplay and con horror stories. Hope you found them entertaining. I hope you liked us wearing some goofy costumes. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. And I'll see you again next time. Happy Halloween! Bye!